But here we are. It's the last one, and I'm continuing with our talk on the Integrity Doctor's Success Principles. And this time we are now up to principle number 10, which is it takes time. Principle 10, it's a good one. It's a great one. I've got a whole new perspective on it, something I think that's going to be very beneficial to every single one of you listening, something I think that will be very eye-opening for a lot of you. But first, I want to make sure you know our current principle. I want to make sure you know exactly what we're talking about here. So just like I've done at the live events, I'm going to play for you one of our current videos on it. The video that tells it. So rather than just read it, rather than just put it on the screen, we're going to watch a video. All right? We're going to learn about principle 10. Here we go.
To become amazing requires time. Amazing isn't instant. You might say, but I'm 30, 40 to 50 and it hasn't happened yet. Do not be afraid. There is still plenty of time to make the dream happen. Don't be an expert in time lost. We have all lost time and opportunities. Are you too old to shoot for the moon? Are you too worn out? Are you too battle-scarred? Is it too late? Not a chance, because you know the secret to personal and business success. The secret to success is the constancy of purpose. What does that mean? Most people wear out or quit before they get where they want to go. Success takes repetition. We commonly resist repetition. We would prefer to treat all different kinds of cases in a day, instead of treating low back case after low back case after low back case and talking the same education and teaching the same solutions and showing the same reports. We easily get bored. We like an idea for a little while. Then we like to move on to a new idea. We get tired of doing the same things, treating the same symptoms, saying the same things. It causes us to get off on tangents. We get on purpose, then we get off purpose. We can have a great month and then let up. It will work so well, we will stop doing it. New patient activities fade. Procedures fade. Focus fades. We start chasing a new technique or type of practice. Bored because we hate repetition. What is the solution? From today on, I will choose to embrace repetition. I will consider repetition, my friend, and the path to success. I realize there is no such thing as success without it. All professions have it. The professional athlete practices the same plays over and over tirelessly for years. They have the same warm-up procedures every day, and they embrace that. Dentists work on teeth every day. They always work in somebody's mouth every day, never changing body parts or types of cases. No orthotics, no diets, just mouths. Podiatrists work on feet every day. Accountants, CPAs, bankers work with numbers every day. Every mastery of an art or profession requires repetition. Let me repeat that. Repetition is a key element of success, and I am committed to repetition and time because I know if I do the 5-year plan for 5 years, not 5 days, not 5 weeks, not 5 months, nope, the same successful thing every day for 5 years, I will love the results. Success takes time. We like instant. We want to lose 25 pounds in 25 minutes. We want to have a booming practice that is instantly and naturally booming without constantly having to work at it and build it up. We want to be instantly out of debt rather than working a plan to get that way. We want to wake up rich. But success doesn't happen that way. Success requires doing the right things over and over for a long period of time. This principle does not come naturally to me. I move on to something else before I ever get to where I am going. The secret to success is the constancy of purpose. Nothing can add more power to my life and practice than concentrating all my energies on a limited set of targets for a sustained period of time. What is my purpose? To heal the land with my 5-year plan. I must limit my goals, my targets, my purpose to the 5-year plan. I must limit myself to dream work only. It is so easy to get off on other targets and tangents. There are so many directions I could go in, so many good things I could do. I must not wander. I must not get distracted. I must do the 5-year plan. I must do the 5-year plan for 5 years. As an example, if I diet all day long and then eat an entire cake that night, I'll never lose the weight. That breaks the principle of the constancy of purpose. I have to diet without cheating for a long period of time to succeed at losing weight. It is the constancy of dieting or purpose. If I'm to win in business, I have to work the 5-year plan for 5 years. I can't just occasionally do the right things. I can't cheat. I can't just settle for a good month. I have to put the good month together for a few years. I am living for the dream today, one day at a time, and I won't stop until I am done and the dream is painted. I am committed to my journey, and the journey is what makes it fun. I will constantly live on purpose, and I accept that my purpose takes time.
All right, we're back. That's a good one. That's a good one. I love that AI voice, man. You hear that everywhere. Just a great video. Great thing on time. Great principle. This is a winner, man. This is an awesome one. And I promise you, this isn't going to be different. I'm going to take this to another place, another level. I'm going to open it up. And I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready, because here we go. I'm here to talk about principle number 10 and this simple thought. Success takes time. Now, I remember, if you've been around with us, we used to have a thing called a guest class at conferences where we teach guests, and many of you have sat in on our guest class. And when we used to, we now do them virtually, but when we did them in person, there was a line that we always used, that we would always say, and that was, success takes time. The reason we would say it, because of one simple point. We would say, you can't become a chiropractor in 90 days. There's no reason to believe you can become a successful chiropractor in 90 days. Now, the reason it's important to say this is because everything good takes time. Everything great, everything awesome, everything that is just a wow takes time. So in other words, you went to school, docs. You didn't take you 1 year to become a chiropractor. It didn't even take you 2 years. Most of you took 4 years. 4 years to become a chiropractor. So now, why in the world would we come out and think that I could instantly be successful in business? That I could instantly make this work right now? But that's how a lot of offices think. They think, oh, I just need to know how to open. I'm good with people. I'm good with people. I can make this work. I can do it. I'm going to make this awesome. I'm going to do so great because I am such a dynamic, amazing, and beautiful person. But that's not how it works. To do this right, to do anything right, to achieve the success that you've always dreamed of, it's going to take time. Success takes time. But the problem here is that if we're all honest, we now live lives that banks on time being fast, that everything's instant. We want to know everything instantly. We want to see everything instantly. Did you ever think, because I never thought, did you ever think that you could live stream? Like the news did it. Like growing up, I'd watch the news and they'd be like, we are live from Kuwait. Did I ever think that I could be live? That other people could watch me and what I'm thinking and what I'm saying and what my opinion is at any point in the day? This is what we've gone to. We've gone to a mode where time really is just all about instantness. Instantaneous time. We want everything and we want it now. Think about Amazon. I don't know how many of you do this. I order on Amazon all the time. I've been a Prime member since it started. And when it started, the big sell for Amazon Prime was that you could get products in 2 days, 2 business days. 2 business days. And man, that was fast. Because I don't know about you. If you grew up like I did, back in the day, when I grew up, I was born in the 80s. Not to tell you when. Keep it guessing. I know I looked super young. I know you probably thought, oh, Ryan, there's no way. I thank you. Thank you. But when I grew up, we used to have to order things by 800 numbers. There weren't websites. There were 1-800 numbers. So if you saw something on TV on Home Shopping Network or QVC and you wanted to order it, you'd go on there and place it and it would tell you on the screen, you expect to get your package in 6 to 8 weeks. And you were like, wow. In a month, I'm going to get this new thing. And it was crazy exciting, man. Crazy exciting. I remember telling my friends, how many weeks has it been? How many weeks has it been? And then as time moved on, you start ordering things online. We didn't have the web, so we'd have phone numbers again. So we had Eastbay. I don't know if you remember Eastbay because I played sports. Eastbay was the catalog that every young boy wanted. It had all of the latest shoes, all of the latest cleats, all of the latest equipment. And I'd go through that catalog, man, and I'd pick out something for football season, whatever it is. And they'd be like, you can expect your delivery in 1 to 2 weeks. And you're like, 1 to 2 weeks? This is the fastest thing ever. Because you got used to all these other things taking 6 to 8 weeks. But then now I grow up and all of a sudden, you get used to UPS, and UPS was 5 to 7 days, or sometimes even 3 to 5 days. And then Amazon shows up and says, hold my book. We're going to do it in 2 business days. We're going to do it in 2 business days. We're like, what? Are we serious? We're doing this in 2 business days? How is this possible? But now, I mean, if we're all honest, how many Amazon people I got out there? How many of you are going to admit that you order too much? How many of you? I honestly, I'm the one. It's not my wife. It's me. I love Amazon. I will buy stuff. If we'll say, oh, I need this. I'm going to buy it. But here's what I do. I don't know if you do this. I think you probably do. But I look on there. I'm looking for the shipping times. I'm not even necessarily looking for the best product. I'm looking for when I can get it now. I want it now, man. In 2 business days. A lot of times that's too much wait. That's not what I want. I want next day. I want free Prime next day. I don't want just next day. I might even look for overnight. You guys doing this overnight? And then not just any overnight. They give you a time. How about 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.? How about 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.? And I'll pick my time. That's how ridiculous this has gotten. It's gotten so bad that I'll see products on Amazon that will say, oh, you will be here in 7 to 10 days. And I'm like, I don't want that. What a cruddy product that is. They can't even ship it overnight. How dare them? How dare them? Because I expect things too fast. Now, it's a big point to point out that all of these fast expectations that we are set up for all the time, what it really does is it leads us to have false expectations at work. False expectations in life. You know, me and my wife, we have 3 kids. You know, there's no way to make it shorter. It just happens. When she gets pregnant, it's going to take 9 months. There's no way, well, I'd like it next week. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it works. It takes time. A successful pregnancy takes time. A successful business takes time. Why? Because success takes time. Now, when it comes to success in business, there are a few things that we can focus on. There are a few things that we want to make sure that we focus on and do right, and we do it the right way. And so I want to go over those with you. I want to go over with just what I think are some of the most important things that you can focus on in terms of not getting distracted and overwhelmed by time. Because if you think that you are going to make this fast, I talk to so many, I'll talk to kids out of school. I talked to one recently. They said, well, it's just going to blow up as soon as I do it because I know all these things and I've done all this stuff and I got to be prepared because it's going to blow up. No, it's not. It's not. You think that because you believe everything just instantly happens. We all believe it's an overnight success. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Success takes time. So when we're looking in our offices daily, there's one thing that we constantly are doing. There's one thing I see every office doing, and that's measuring growth. You measure your growth. You're constantly analyzing and looking at numbers, trying to analyze and measure your growth. And that's fine. That's fine. You want to measure your growth constantly, but here's the thing that you're going to find that's going to happen. The more you measure your growth, the more you stress out. The more you get worked up, the more you focus on the wrong things, the more you make poor decisions. And why? Because your measurement is on too short a period of time. See, if you're going to measure growth, you need to measure it over a period of time. It needs time because things fluctuate. Day to day, things fluctuate. If you looked at the stock market on just a day-to-day basis, you'd be like, oh, this is a nightmare. But if you look at it over time, you see that it always goes up. So even in the moments where it looks like, wow, it really went down, over time, you look at that same stock over 5 years, it goes up. Why? Because time is needed for success. Success takes time. But if you get too lost in looking at the numbers and looking at the stats and looking at the stuff on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, what's going to happen a lot of times is that you're going to make poor decisions because you're wanting too fast a turnaround. You're wanting success too quickly. Now, I know you can say, well, what are you talking about, Ryan? That's not real. You can build it. Let me give you an easy example, okay? Let me give you one that we can all pretty much understand. Like I said, I have 3 kids. I have my daughter, Summer. She's 12. I have my middle son, Nolan, he's 6. And I've got Harvey, who's 3. And both of our boys, they're in the same room. And on the room, we have this 6-foot tall ruler that's mounted to the wall that has a Tampa Bay Rays decoration on it. And on this deal, maybe you've seen this before. You've probably had one. You've probably done it. It's a 6 foot tall, and it's measured to the wall perfectly. And we have it so that we can measure our kids against it. So our kids will go stand up against it, and they'll prop their head back there, and they'll put it up there, and then we'll draw a line. We'll put our hand in here, and then we'll take a Sharpie, and we'll mark it on the ruler. We'll mark it on the giant ruler, and we'll write their name and the date that we did this. And every time we'll do this, and like my son, he'll see it and he'll go, "Let's go, baby! 2 inches, let's go!" And he gets really excited, and he gets pumped up, and he measured it. Now, I realized I didn't have this growing up. I had a thing called a door frame. So I bet many of you had this too. You had a door frame where you had just a certain wall that you did it. But you measured yourself just to see how far you grew. But when I do it with my kids, here's what ends up happening. I'll do it. They'll get very excited about the growth that they've had because we've reminded them we need to do this. And then they want to measure themselves every day. They want to measure themselves constantly. Even 2 hours later, let's do it again. Let me stand a little taller. Let me see how I do. Now, here's the irony to that. Each day, they start to measure themselves, and each day they get frustrated because they don't see the growth that they're hoping for. They don't see the growth that they're expecting. They are wanting instant growth. Now, what ends up happening is then they break off. They may try another couple days, and eventually they just get frustrated and they forget about doing it because they didn't get the growth that they wanted. Now, what ends up happening is we then measure them later, months later, 6 months later, and they're growing. And then they get excited again because of this growth. But the only way they see growth is over time. And here's the funny thing. This is the thing that's really crazy about this whole concept. If I measure my child today, if I measure my 6-year-old today and I measure him a year from today, there's going to be growth there. There's no way there's not going to be growth there. I know there's going to be growth there. He's going to grow. For the same reason I know that on the first day of school, I'm going to take a picture of him as the first day of school. And then on the last day of school, I'm going to take another picture. And when I look at the two, I'm like, how did this happen? And it's because of this. If I asked my son, each time he grew, how much have you grown? He would have said, I didn't grow. Because as you're living in it, you don't see the growth. You don't feel the growth. As you grow as a child, you don't think, oh, I'm bigger now. You don't think that. You think, every day's the same. It's no different than the last time I did this. There's no way I've grown. And then they grow, and then there's 3 more inches. And they're, let's go, baby. They're super excited again. Why? Because it takes time to grow. When you measure it over a short time, you get frustrated. You get worked up. You get irritated. But if you're going to measure your growth, even your growth is going to take time. So the first part is, if you're going to measure it, understand it's going to take some time. Just like my son needs to do. We got to wait 6 months before we do this again so we can see some time. Because the growth's going to be there. But it just takes time. Because success takes time. Let's look at the next one. More patience equals more patience. Try saying that. I mean, I had to really, really work hard that I didn't just say patience twice. More patience equals more patience. Now, here's what I'm not talking about here, because this is an easy one to get confused. I'm not talking about more patience in terms of, well, they're a pain in the butt, so we got to be more patient with them. That's not what I'm talking about. In some ways, in some trainings, in some classes, that can be true, but that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is that in order to serve more patients means we need to do a better job at the procedures that we currently have. And in order to do a better job at those procedures, we need to be more patient with the training. We need to be more patient and diligent with how we learn the system. Now, what that really wraps up into is the fact that I see a lot of times that the goal of training is to complete training. It's not to be great at the training. It's not to do the training perfectly. It's just to check it off, like a checklist. Like, oh, I completed that section. Oh, I completed that quiz. See, I don't care that you complete things. I know that some doctors, they get kind of lost, and I want to make sure that you completed all your training. I'm not into the completing part. The completing isn't the goal. Awesomeness is the goal. Success is the goal. And in order to have success, I need you to do it perfectly. I need you to do it right. But the only way that happens is if you have more patience. You see this all the time with screenings. One of the biggest mistakes all offices make with screenings is that when it comes to booking appointments, they have very little patience. Very little. Because you call, someone tells you no, you call again, they tell you no, and all of a sudden we're just like, done. I don't want to do this anymore. Tired of this. Let's try something else. Let's do something else. Why? Because the goal isn't more patience. The goal becomes, I'm not patient. See what I did there? Having no patience means wanting things too fast. Means expecting. You're wanting to call one place and get 30 new patients from one screening. That's not how this works. It's going to take time. There's no such thing as finding one place a month to go to and get all your new patients in one swoop. That's not how this works. It's going to take time at events, time on the phone, time calling, time working, time pushing. It's going to take some patience on your end to make sure this is done right. You have got to be patient. For the same reason, if you're in collections, it isn't going to take one call. It isn't going to take one email. It's going to take you being more patient to the fact that you're going to have to put in a little more. You're going to have to work a little bit harder. You're going to have to do a little bit differently. You're going to have to call more times. And they're going to be a pain. They're going to tell you they're going to pay and they're not going to pay. And you can't get frustrated with that. You've got to stay patient. But all of that patience means a whole lot more experience. And that more patience will lead to more patience. In the long run, it will all work out. And in the long run, you'll become more efficient at it. In the long run, it'll work better. But in the beginning, our lack of patience means that we focus too much on completion and not on the thing that truly matters, the thing that truly we need to stick with, and that is mastery. If we're going to master something, I've got to get you to learn this one simple concept. You have to give up time to gain time. Now, man, I know that probably looking like that doesn't make sense, but it does, and I'm gonna explain it to you because this is the one thing I kind of really got this. This is something I've learned over the years. I really pulled it even from a quote from one of our guest speakers a few years ago. His name is Larry Wingett. Larry Wingett is a awesome motivate, great books. They're very upfront, they're very in your face, very honest. If you go on our app, pull up in the special recording section, pull up the Larry Wingate. I mean, you won't regret it. But here's what I learned from Larry. Larry made the point of saying, if you want to go to another level, if you want to take your life, your practice, your business to another level, you've got to give up something to get there. And so as I thought about that for a very long time, and I've kind of seen a lot of different things that way, I started realizing that really explains time to me. That explains how time truly works. Because what it really means here is that if you want free time, you've got to put in some time now to gain that time later. But see, the problem is that we are currently in a generation that we'll even see doctors come out of school and their first priority is their 3-day weekend. I want 3-day weekends. I want 4-day weekends. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to see the world. And here's the problem with it. Do I want you to see the world? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I want you to have lots of great life? Do I want you to just be able to spend time with your family? Yes. But I know this. You can have a whole lot of free time to spend with your family. And it can be a whole lot of cruddy time and a whole lot of not good family time, all because you're so stressed because you can't afford it. Because you haven't given up the time first to pay for it. See, if you're going to do this right, you have to give up time to gain time. This is something I've learned even as a son. You know, most of you know my father's, who you heard from earlier, Keith. He's been doing this a long time. This has been a 40-year thing for him. And so that means my whole life growing up, there were a lot of sacrifices he made that are now paying off now. But in the time it was difficult. In the time it was hard. You know, I remember he missed pretty much every football game I ever had. He missed all of them. He missed even me winning the state championship. He missed all of these, what I would have said are really big moments in my life. All because he was traveling. He was constantly at conferences. You know, when we talk about conferences now and we do all these things streaming now, there's little that are in person. Back in the olden days, I mean, he was doing it like 40 weekends a year, 40 to 45. And there's only 52 weeks. He was doing it all the time. So there's all these weekends that he's gone and there's all that he's missing. And, you know, as a kid, it's very easy to look at me like, this really stinks. Like, I don't get to see my dad. Like, my dad's gone. Like, he missed my game. Like, I want my dad there, you know, those sort of things. But the thing I didn't understand at the time was that he was giving up that time in order to gain time now. And the honest truth is, I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, all those games he missed were a great sacrifice to all the amazing opportunities and moments I've gotten to spend with him since. Because as his success grew, his free time grew. And that time was gained and it was spent, and I got to enjoy it then. I've gotten to do things with my dad I never dreamed I'd get to do. I've got to go to places, have experiences, see things, do things I would have never said are possible. Now even my grandkids get to benefit from that. Or my kids, his grandkids. My kids get to hugely benefit because of the time he gave up then, he gets to use now. But that success took time. I see it too. I've done it. I missed every one of my son's Nolan's T-balls games this year because they just so happened to be Friday nights of the 6 locations that I was at. Do I wish I didn't have to miss it? Yes. But I'm giving that up to gain more time with him later. The same way my own father did. Now, I realize not everybody wants to give up that time. And that's fine. You don't want to give up that time. But you also can't expect the same level of success. Because again, success takes time. In order to gain it, you've got to give it up. If you want 3-day weekends and you want a successful practice with 3-day weekends, you're going to have to work a little while without those 3-day weekends. In fact, you're going to have to work probably 5-6 days a week. But the goal is to get there. The goal isn't to have it instantly. And if you try to have it instantly, you'll find it isn't going to work. Because that's just not how any of this stuff works. To gain time, you must give up time. Now, don't be sad about giving up that time. It's the same with training. As I mentioned before, when you're training, you've got to give up some of your personal time to memorize, to master your scripts, to get your stuff down. Why? Well, because you're going to give up the time now, but you're going to gain it later when you don't have to work as hard, when you've got it memorized, when you can say it in your sleep, when you can do it, when you've performed it and you've got it mastered so well that you can do it without even anyone asking, that you could perform a report of findings without even holding a report, when you can perform a front desk procedure without even needing someone standing there, and you could do it with your eyes closed. But that doesn't happen if you didn't give up some time to learn it first. See, all success comes at the expense of time. You have to give up time to master things. That's where the patience is. See, you're going to give up time so you can get this thing mastered and you can do it right and you can have it down perfectly. So then all of a sudden, as a screener, you're not working as hard. You're not having to do as much. You're not getting as many no's when you call. You're not having to get as many no's at the event because you've put in the time to master the screening. You're not getting as many no's on the phone when you're calling insurance companies because you've mastered how this works and it feels like it just flies by because you're used to it and you know what's coming. You know how this goes and you're not taking it personally. All of this because you gave up some time. And that giving up of time gave you some time, gave you some success. And all of this, we do all of this and we do it all for the right reasons. We do it all for one simple goal. We do it all because we're all trying to be in one place. We're all trying to do one thing, and that is be in a place that we all should know, and you should be able to even say it with me, to be in the right place at the right time, which I believe you are here for. You realize this morning you gave up 4 hours of your morning to watch this, but I believe it's going to gain you some time at work. I believe it's going to gain you some success. I believe it's going to bring you stuff that you realize there are people that couldn't give this up this morning. There are people that slept in. There are people that are just doing other things. There are people that didn't have anything on their schedule. They just didn't want to do this. And those same people will be the same ones writing in saying, well, I don't understand why this isn't working. I don't understand why my numbers aren't going up. I don't understand. Because they didn't give up time to learn the things that they needed to gain the success. So man, all of you, every single one of you get a gold star. Gold stars all around. You get a star. You get a star. You back there, you get a star. That's right. You get a star because you're in the right place at the right time. Now, I also want to just point out that I realize that some of us don't always feel that way. I realize that some of us are even in moments and in parts of life where it feels like things aren't turning around and things aren't going right. And I would just want to remind you of just one very simple and easy thought, and one thing that you need to hear, whether you want to hear it or not. It's the right place and the right time because God has put you there. He is with you. He is guiding you, and everything is on time. I recently shared at one of our events that I recently got full custody of my daughter. My daughter's from a previous marriage, and I recently got full custody after fighting and trying for 9 years. It just happened. 9 years. 9. God's timing was different than mine, man. I wanted it 9 years ago. But success takes time. I had to give up quite a bit during those 9 years. But you know what? I'm going to gain awesomeness. Already have. I've had her now for full time for around 3 months. And I mean, she's been sleeping better. She's been acting better. She looks like a load has been lifted off her plate. She's happier than she's ever been. I am gaining so much good, fun, free time with her and moments I never had before. And all because I put in those 9 years. Now, it wasn't what I would have wanted. It wasn't what I would have guessed. It wasn't. I would have been like, God, can we just speed this thing up, man? But while I wanted it fast, he was working on it. While I was just praying for a miracle, he was putting in the time. And while I've been working according to my purpose, he was working together and working out all things together for the good. And here we are. And you know what? It's going to be awesome. The time I have with her already is awesome, and it's only going to get more awesome. But I know for each one of you, no matter where you're at, no matter what stage, no matter what life feels like right now, no matter whether it hurts, whether it's stressful, whether you're in the right place in the right time. One thing I have always believed, there's a reason that the earth is always moving. There's a reason that the earth is spinning on its axis and moving. And it's moving because God wanted to make sure that even when you feel like you're standing still, he knows and you know you're still moving. Even when it feels like you're stuck, you're not. But all of it takes time. All of it takes patience. And sometimes when you have to give up something, there's going to be a gain. But lastly, I know this one simple thing. When it comes to your growth, when it comes to your future, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your life, I know that by sitting through this today, you are in the right place at the right time. You'll be better for it. You can go back to it and reference it, but this wasn't for nothing today. Today was awesome. And I want you to know success takes time, and you are going to be successful. Let me say that again. You, right there in front of the screen, you looking back at this beautiful bald man in front of you. You, yes, you will be a success. It just takes time.